This video is for IED. We're working on the distance learning activity 1.1.2, where we are going to iterate and redesign our launching device. One of the tools that we'll utilize as an engineer is a spreadsheet, and we've worked with that already with the analysis of our own device. Now you'll be working in teams of three, and you need to then analyze the group's data to help make design decisions to go forward. So each of you will have a file such as this shared with you in your shared Google Drive folder. And you'll be working with two other people, as I'd mentioned, and basically we'll start here. And what we're going to go towards is we want to create a document that looks something like this, so we can take the data from three different members of a team and compare them with just a quick graphical analysis, so that we don't have to try and sift through 30 numbers here plus another 15 down here. We can just analyze that with our graphical analysis, help us determine some decisions for designing things. So to get started, what I'll have you do is you'll have this template, like I said. You'll have to click into this tab and then put in the names of your team members. And I think I had Tim, Jim, and Sue. Okay. So that's your names of your teams. And then what you'll have to put down is your, I'm going to refer back to this. I'll let you see this from time to time. Your launch trial. Remember, we did 10 trials, and we'll set it up for each of the team members. So the launch trial 1 through 10. So to get that set up, I'm going to jump back to that document, launch trial, and we're going to call that 1, 2. Remember that little shortcut. If I put my mouse down here, I guess I can hover over both of these, and I drag this little button down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'll automatically populate that for us. And then we'll put up here distances. And these are in feet, so it's always good to label those things. And we had Tim, Jim, and I'm just tabbing between these cells, and Sue. And from there, what you will do is you will jump to your own data. Let's see, jump to your own data. You've all done a spreadsheet like this by now. You can just go there and you can copy that information. Control C, just like we do in Word or Google Docs. We'll jump back to the one we're working on, and Control V, that pastes that in. Now, I'm going to make this a little easier, quicker, so you kind of see I have one done already that we're looking at. So I'll copy, and I will go ahead and paste that information for Jim in there. And likewise, I'll jump back here, Sue's data, Control C for a copy, and Control V for a copy. Now, as we've talked about before, I'm always a big fan of getting things formatted a bit. So let's put a bold face here. Let's go ahead and center that, and we'll do a Control U to underline those. That way our data looks, I don't like the way this one lined up, so I think we're going to make this one, rather than centered, we'll leave that. No, that should be centered. All right. So that should give you kind of the initial layout. Now, as you watch these videos, I would strongly suggest, if you haven't started already, make some notes. This is a great place to use your engineering notebook again. Class notes, when you're learning something, use the back pages of your notebook. Then when you jump over to create your own spreadsheet, you don't necessarily have to have two videos going, or a video and a document going. You can actually have notes and work from that. All right, so if you look at our example I've given you, we've got this all set up here, distance in feet, the launch trial of 1 through 10, Tim, Jim, and Sue, and we can set up a chart down below that's similar. We'll put Tim, Jim, and Sue's names vertically, and then we'll put the min, Q1, Q3, and max, and then We won't use this in our chart necessarily, but it's always good to get the mean, another way to analyze our data. So let's jump back into our working document and let's put down here. I like to skip a couple spaces down, give myself some room to work. Tim, Jim, and Sue, and then leave a little bit of space. We have the min, and I'm going to tab between cells Q1, uh, Q3, and max, and mean. All right. Formatting is, again, always one of my favorite things to do to make it look nice. Let's go ahead and center that information. And let's go ahead and get our headings. We can center those and make those bold-faced so it kind of stands up. Now, if you think back to when we made our initial spreadsheet, we have to use formulas. Do we remember how do we start a formula? Well, the formulas in sheets as we're working, or Excel, they work basically the same way. Formulas always start with the equals sign, and we want the minimum. So start typing min, gives you a whole list. Make sure you click on the abbreviation min, and now we can just select, because we're looking at Tim's minimum. We'll select all that data, close the parentheses, and there's the minimum of Tim's data. Let's do the same thing for Jim. Equals min. Don't forget to select that cell and or select the formula. Select the data, close the parentheses, and likewise equals the min of, oops, I got the wrong formula there. Min, right there. The min of Sue's data, close parentheses, and there's my Jim's minimum, and Sue's minimum. Now we want to go to Q1. So start with a formula, equals QUA. Oh, there's quartile. Click on quartile, and we're going to select Tim's data. Remember, we want Q1, we have to go comma 1 and then close our parentheses. Do the same thing here, equals quartile of Jim's data, comma 1, because we're quartile 1. We want Sue's data, so equals QUA. There's quartile. Select your formula. Select your data, comma 1 for quartile 1. Close our parentheses. And we've got minimum quartile 1. Now we're going to work on Q3. Same thing, equals QUA. There's quartile. We want Tim's data first. Select it, comma 3, because we are now working with Q3. Next formula equals QUA, quartile. We want Jim's because we're working on the second line. Q3 because we are working, oops, I fat fingered that one. Sometimes good to make a mistake so you're reminded what to do correctly. All right, click out of the cell back into it, equals QUA. There's quartile of Jim's data, comma, so we're Q3, close parentheses. Last one here equals QUA, quartile. We're looking for Sue, so let's go get Sue's data. And comma 3 for quartile 3, close our parentheses. And finally, we want the max for each of them. So max, we're starting with Tim. So just keep yourself organized here. If you don't, you can kind of get some incorrect numbers here. So equals max of Jim's data and equal max. Remember to always click your formula. I've made the mistake too many times. I don't click my formula and I get some weird responses. All right. And the last thing equals Mean. Well, look at that. Average is the same as mean. So we want the average for Tim's data. And let's do the average for Jim's data. And the average for Sue's data. All right, let's go ahead and format just a little bit. Take those numbers. We just want to center them in the cells so it looks a little bit neater. All right, the hard work is done. So you've put your team members' names up here. You've put in your launch trial 1 through 10. You've taken each of your team members' names, obviously replaced these with the team members that I've uh, uh, collaborated or assigned you to work with. Put their name here, and then their data can be copied and pasted from their or your test data from your initial work in your original launch device. Then we're going to set up the minimum, the Q1, Q3, and max, as well as the mean for everyone's data set. All right. Now, what we're really trying to work towards is we want to create that box and whisker plot to easily compare all of them. So what we want to do is we're going to select all of this data. So we're going to select everything there from the names to the categories and all the data. We'll go up here to Insert, Chart, and we don't want a bar chart, column chart. We want to hit the chart type over here and scroll down. We're looking for what they call a candlestick chart. For some reason, Google Sheets calls it a candlestick chart, but it's the same thing as a box and whisker. So we'll go ahead and select that, and it did not like that. Well then, let's see what we did wrong. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. What did I do in my other case? Oh, I know what I did. I can't select the mean. I can only have 5 values. The name, the min, Q1, Q3, and max. I had 6. All right, my fault. Sorry. That way, maybe I make the mistake and you won't have to. All right. So 5 columns of data is what we want for a box and whisker plot. So let's go back to Insert, and we're going to go to Chart. And we're going to jump down to a candlestick chart. So we'll scroll down. Candlestick, that looks a whole lot better. All right. So there, we've placed that. We can go ahead and select it, and then we can drag it off to the side. Let's make that a little smaller too, so it's a little easier to read. We can kind of condense our chart just a little bit. And now we can select on that chart again. Sure we will. And we get this menu over here. I don't like that chart title of min Q1, Q3 max. So when we go over here, we typically start at setup, but we're going to change that to customize. Let's go to chart and axis titles. So let's switch this. Make sure you're in chart title, and a better chart title might be launcher team trials. We can then change the other menus. So let's take the horizontal axis. In other words, the bottom one down here. Let's put that students. There we go. That's you guys, or team members, something like that. And let's also put in a vertical axis. So over here, what does that represent? That's distance. And we'll just abbreviate that, and that's in feet. Distance in feet. Click elsewhere. That looks a whole lot better. So now we can easily recognize that. I'll close this window. Now, the only thing that we might want to add to this is we could put our mean in there. It's not totally necessary since you've got it right here, but if you'd like to, I'll do Tim's mean. Okay, Tim's mean is 9.6. Remember, Sheets doesn't put it in, so we have to make something. We go to Insert, and we'll go to Drawing. We'll draw a line, and I'm going to hold my Shift button down so I get a nice horizontal line. And let's change the color of that to red. Save it, and here comes our red line. Click on it till it's highlighted, and looks like Tim's mean is about, it's going to lock in on me, isn't it? All right. Not going to get that perfect, but you get the idea. If you want to put that in, you can. If you don't want to, you've got that right here. But now you can easily analyze this data, and as a team, you can start making decisions. What should your goal be? Are you trying to get the furthest distance that it goes? Are you trying to make it consistent? Trying to get it to fall within a range? What is our goal? We have to set that new criteria. So you'll create this as a team. I would ask that you share this the workload here so everyone does a little bit. Perhaps someone puts this data in, maybe someone's working on the mins, someone here. Again, split up the work a little bit, and then you can make your chart look nice and neat. If you want to play around with this a little bit, you can customize that. Maybe you want to change the, let's see, what can we change on it? Setup. If you want to put some things in there like, where are we at? Candlestick. Maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Chart style. There we go. If we want to make our background color different, maybe we want this to be a yellow. So blue on yellow, that might make it easier to get your attention. The border, maybe you want a black border. Now let's make it a bright blue border so it kind of jumps at us. Um, just some simple things you can do to play with that a little bit to make it jump off the screen. You can modify that as you'd like to. This will become a part of your digital engineering notebook as you go forward. So, easy way to do that is just do a snip and add it to your digital notebook. So, that gives you an overview of how to make a statistical analysis in Sheets for the teams, and then you can make your design decisions based on that. Any questions, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll trust that you can create this document with your teammates. And that is it. Thanks for participating. See ya.